Hi, I'm Erin Terry, and I want to tell you a little bit about my journey. I have been on a journey to get healthy and lose weight and just change kind of my whole life over the past few years. Um, I've struggled with my weight all of my life. But after pretty much a lifetime of struggling, I have finally found something that works for me and has literally changed my life. So, about 8 months ago, I found Beachbody. Um, I have learned so much about health and fitness and how to make these changes last for the rest of my life, not just until I get to my goal weight and then put it all back on like I have done, I don't know how many times, hundreds. Um, I have gained so much through this Beachbody system that I decided I wanted to pay it forward, and I became a Beachbody coach myself. So, like I said, I've struggled with my weight pretty much all my life. I very distinctly remember going on my first diet when I was in fifth grade. It's just always been a struggle for me. Um, Things became really bad when I left grad school. I decided I wanted an adventure. I'd grown up in a really small town, and I wanted to do something exciting and fun. So I moved halfway across the country, away from my friends, family, everything I'd ever known. And it was a very difficult time. I had a very stressful, high crisis oriented job, and it didn't leave me any time to make any friends, get out and learn the area around me, and to have the adventure that I thought I was going to have. So I very quickly turned to a good old trusty friend, and that was food. Um, I ate out every single meal of every single day. The only thing you would find in my house that was food, couldn't even really call it food, were condiments and Diet Coke and maybe a couple things in my cabinet, and that was it. Um, I could easily eat enough food at one time to feed 2 or 3 people. My favorite was Olive Garden, and I won't tell you what I got at Olive Garden because I'm still a little embarrassed about it. But like I said, I could easily eat enough to feed 2 or 3 people, and in one meal I was eating enough calories that should have lasted me the entire day. So within about 7 months, I gained well over 100 pounds. I'm not sure how much exactly because the scale and I were not buddies at that time, so I don't know how much I weighed. Um, but it was a really bad time for me, and I finally decided that I had to go home. I had to kind of give up on this adventure that I wanted and this dream that I had, and I had to get back home where I felt safe and get myself together, or I was going to just keep gaining weight and would have been in horrible shape. Um, Unbeknownst to me, when I came home, my mom got a hold of her best friend, who she knew had been doing a class called Body Pump. And she asked her to give me a call and invite me because she knew that if my mother was the one that suggested it, I wouldn't have done it. I would have just ignored her and not done it. But Lynn called and invited me to Body Pump. So I went, and the first time I did it, I thought I was going to die. Like, I literally thought they're going to have to carry me down these stairs on a stretcher. This is horrible. I was pretty active when I was younger. I loved dancing. So I had a dance class from the time I was in first grade all through school. I was on dance teams, and we had practice 2 or 3 nights a week. And then I loved it so much, I would practice our routines on my own. So I was doing something almost every day. So I'd never really worked out or exercised at the size I was at. So it was a whole new world for me, and I didn't like it. It was definitely a wake-up call. So after that, first body pump class, I decided, okay, let's get serious. So I kept going to body pump, and I started eating at home for pretty much every meal. And the weight just started to fall off of me. I was still overweight. I still wasn't where I wanted to be, but I had lost almost all of the weight that I had gained in North Carolina. So fast forward a few years later, my parents moved to Florida. And for 3 years, I thought, I really want to go, I really want to go. But the experience that I had in North Carolina was so horrible, I couldn't go through that again. So I finally got up the courage to come down here, and over the next year, maybe 2, I worked with a trainer and a nutritionist. Now, don't get me wrong. I loved both of them. They were both amazing people, and I learned a ton from both of them. I learned so much about what I was truly capable of doing, things that I never thought that I could do. And I also learned more about nutrition and not only what I should eat, but why I should be eating it. So, like I said, got a lot of good information out of it. But again, it still wasn't working. I would lose the weight, but then I'd feel deprived because I wasn't eating the food that I wanted to eat, and I would gain it all back. So last summer, I kept seeing these infomercials for Insanity, and I thought, well, I've worked out with a trainer. I can do that. I can hang with Shanti. So I got it, and I made it through the first month. And I said, this is crazy. I cannot do this. What made me think that I was fit enough to do this? So I gave up. I kept kind of working out. I was just doing other things and still watching what I was eating, but things weren't clicking. So a few months later, I found 813 Fit Club online. And I thought, okay, well, they're doing Insanity, and maybe I can go and get some encouragement and it'll help me out. But I couldn't get up the courage to go. I literally looked at 813 Fit Club for probably 2 or 3 months before I decided to really give it a shot. I look back on that now, and that is probably, we have these life-changing moments in life, and when you can go back and you can look at it and you can say, that was it. That decision on that day changed my life. And going to Fit Club that first night changed my life. I have been doing things that I never thought that I even knew existed, that I never thought I would love to do. I finished Insanity. I was able to do it. I have officially graduated and earned my Insanity t-shirt. And since then, I've done other Beachbody workouts. I finished Chalene Extreme. I finished Combat. I have started on P90X. I've done the Ultimate Reset, which is just a really amazing program to teach you how to eat right and how to clean out your system and get your body working the way it should. I have also gained a new addiction, one that I never imagined that I would absolutely love, and that's obstacle course racing. I've done about 10 of them, I think. And that's only been since September of this year. The longest was Tough Mudder, and it was over 12 miles of running, climbing walls, jumping into ice baths, getting electrocuted. It was fabulous. I loved it. I remember at like mile 11 getting sad because there was only a mile left. I was loving it that much. I also recently just ran my first 10K, and that's 6.2 miles. And that's just crazy to me because I used to be the person that thought you should not be running unless you're being chased by something really mean and scary and big. But now I kind of actually look forward to it. I can't say I love running yet, but I'm definitely getting there. I'm getting there. This is a new hobby for me, and I absolutely love it. And I could not be doing these things if it wasn't for the Beachbody programs that I've done and the support that I've gotten from my coach and from the other people at 813 Fit Club. So you might be wondering what I could offer that maybe another Beachbody coach couldn't. First, I have a degree in therapy. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. So one thing that I've definitely learned is if you want to get healthy on the outside, you have to get your mind healthy. It's not going to work. There's too much stuff up there that gets in the way. So I can definitely be somebody that can give you resources and give you tips on how to handle that. Another thing, a lot of coaches start out as customers, definitely, and they have gone through their own journeys and transformed their own lives. But some of them don't know what it feels like to be obese, to have somebody tell you you are obese. And I've had that happen. I had a doctor tell me, your weight is in the obese range. It didn't really occur to me that she said that until I left the doctor's office, and then it hit me like a ton of bricks that, oh my gosh, I am obese. It's a very nasty word and not one that you want to hear being directed towards you. I know what it feels like to hate your body. I know what it feels like to hate yourself, basically. I know what it feels like to go into a dressing room with an armload full of cute clothes that you just love and not a single one of them fit. I know what it feels like to stand in that dressing room and sob because you can't find anything that works for you. I know what it feels like to put your life on hold. Well, once I lose this 10 pounds or this 20 pounds, then I'll be able to do that. Once I lose this 30 pounds or once I get my eating under control, then I can do that. Then my life can really start. I know what that's like. I'm very good at that. But I also now know what success feels like and what pride feels like. And I know the pure joy that you can feel when somebody says, "Have you lost weight?" Or when you feel your clothes start to sag, or when people say, "You need to go shopping, your clothes aren't fitting you right." Or when you finish something that you never imagined that you would do ever in your life because you didn't think you were capable of doing it. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to be miserable. But I also know what it feels like to put in the work and to start to come out onto the other side. I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm a work in progress, and I accept that, and I know it's going to take me a little while to get to where I want to be. But I'm okay with that because I know that I'm doing what I need to do to get there. So if I'm your coach, I'm going to be there with you 100% of the way. I'm going to push you when you need to be pushed. I'm going to encourage you when you need it. I'm going to congratulate you and share your successes with you when they happen, because they will happen. All you have to do is believe that you can do it and commit. And that's it. That's all you have to do. These programs have so worked for me, not only in my physical ability and the way I look, but my inside too. I completely see the world in a different way, and I see myself in a different way. I know it can do the same for you. I know it can. So it's your turn. It's your turn to be happy. It's your turn to have the life that you want. And like I said, I'll be there for you every step of the way.